Hello everyone and welcome back to World of Warships, where today we are going to be looking at the Visby yet again. Yes, I know I just posted a video on this one, but I couldn't help myself. This battle was just so much fun for me. So, we are going to be back here with the Visby. So, this is a tier 6 battle, and it's actually a pretty fun map. Um, One thing I've been noticing about playing destroyers is how much more it's making me look at the minimap and how much more it's forcing me to analyze the situations of the battle. Because in a battleship, you really don't have the flexibility and mobility to go where you need to when you need to, at least lower tiers anyway. So you kind of just choose a flank and kind of play it out and hope that things work out a little bit, and you kind of play it by how it goes, but you don't really do that much. I don't know. You can have very impactful battleship battles, but for some reason, destroyers, because of their mobility, you have much more flexibility on where you go. And I've noticed that taking out destroyers is just so pivotal. Like, if you can wipe out the destroyers on the enemy team early on, it gives you just so much more flexibility to do what you need to do. And the Visby, I don't know, I just like the Visby because you don't have smoke, and so it kind of forces you to really think about what you're doing ahead of time. Um, Whereas if you have smoke, you're just like, I'm just going to sit and chill. But with the Visby, you know that you don't have that defensive capability, and so it really forces you to think before you do actions. That was kind of nice. If that destroyer had sat in the smoke screen, there's no way he would have survived that. Our torpedoes just crisscrossed, and yeah, there's just nothing he could have done. I'm sitting in the cap right now. Obviously, we're not capturing because the destroyer is still on the cap as well. But I figured if he'd poke around, I'd put a couple shots into him and then I'd start running. Because right now I'm not spotted, so there's really no reason to run. Plus, our other destroyers are in smoke screens. So, oh, this is very dangerous. Yeah. Very lucky right there. So, granted, I really should not have been sitting right there because those torpedoes could have messed me up. But I wanted to spot the destroyers for our team because the rest of our destroyers are sitting in smoke. So in order for our destroyers to be able to shoot at them, I kind of had to spot them. Um, but it didn't really matter. Thankfully, that was not a mistake. I mean, it was a mistake, but it didn't cost me anything. Um, and yeah, right now I'm just trying to take out this Agile uh, because if I can take him out, his engine is knocked out, so we can knock him out, and having one less destroyer would be pretty nice. Looks like he's on fire, so I thought he already used his damage con, so I figured that would kill him from the fire, especially since the fire damage is still ticking. But I guess we'll have to see if we actually wipe him out. I'm pretty far back right now. I kind of need to get back up into the battle, but I wanted to break contact, break line of sight, and try to preserve health because it's so important to hang on to health. Um, but yeah, wow, this battle really had me adrenaline pumping at the end. I just had to post it because it's a tier 6 battle. I'm not just fighting tier 5s and tier 4s and stuff. Um, and it's a pretty substantially higher base experience compared to my previous battle that I posted on the ship. Um, Out of all the destroyers, for some reason, this one just always seems to stand out to me. And the more I play it, the more I'm starting to realize that by not having smoke, it makes you think a lot. But also, by not having smoke, it means that you gain other advantages that other destroyers at this tier just don't have. And one of that being you have really good mobility. You can move around the map very easily. And you get that little bit of heal. So your overall hit points are a little bit lower than other destroyers at the tier, but that heal kind of makes up for it. And although your torpedoes kind of are a little bit of the weaker side for this tier. They don't hit very hard, but they do travel very fast, and they're kind of hard to dodge because of that speed. Especially for battleships at this tier, having to deal with fast torpedoes really is not very easy for them. Of course, you're sacrificing a lot of that damage output from your torpedoes, but the torpedoes can still cause floods and they can still cause enemy ships to freak out and have to try to avoid them. And by trying to avoid them, sometimes it gives your team easier shots, you know. So they have their utility. Another really great thing about it is, I mentioned it last time, but the torpedo range on this ship is very, very good. And it gives you a lot of flexibility that other destroyers just don't have at this tier. I mean, that range is very good for tier 5, which allows you to get in, get your torpedoes off safely, and kind of get out. So, yeah, you're paying with it for the torpedoes not dealing as much damage, but you get more consistent torpedo hits, which kind of adds up in the long run, if you ask me. So I saw that we already had 2 destroyers on that southern flank, so there really wasn't any more reason for me to be over there. One of the 2 remaining enemy destroyers are on the other side, and I saw that this flank was kind of collapsing. So, being aware of my surroundings and seeing the state of the situation, I felt it was a good time for me to come over here. And the best part is there's only 1 destroyer, so if I can deal with that destroyer, look at how many battleships are over here. I have 2 retreating battleships on my team, so if I can support them and try to convince the enemy battleships that it's not a good idea to push and kind of keep the battleships further away, it might allow my battleships to survive a bit longer. And the situational awareness that destroyers force me to have is just very interesting, and it kind of helps me with my other battles as well. It's one thing that I'm very much learning right now is by playing destroyers, it's giving me better awareness of the situation and how to respond to it. And interestingly enough, I seem to be getting more victories per battle with destroyers, whether that be just because I'm impacting the battle more than I am in battleships or something, I'm not sure. It might just be because it's forcing me to be careful and not do anything too reckless. And yeah, so I'm not sure if those torpedoes are going to hit or not, because that October Revolution, he turned a little bit. So I don't know if they're going to hit, but looks like he's turning back, which if he didn't turn back, I think he might have been able to dodge them. So let's see. Are they going to hit? Yep, well, that's 1 hit. But it actually was not on the October Revolution. It was on something else. So I'm not really sure. Oh, there's another hit. That's kind of nice. But there's another ship over there that we're not seeing. What other ship could possibly be over there that I'm not seeing? Well, there's only one possible solution, and that has to be the destroyer. So that information that I received by that torpedo hitting alerted me that that T-22 was there. And look at that. He's exactly where I thought he was going to be, which is very good. And these kind of mini information bombs that are being given to you throughout the battle, utilizing the information that's given to you to analyze the situation in the battle is so important. So here we go. I fired off more shots at the October Revolution, which I think some of them might hit, but of course he has a lot of health and my torpedoes do very little damage, so it's going to take me a long time to deal with him. But 1 torpedo landed, and that's a little bit less health for our battleships to have to deal with. Unfortunately, one of our battleships, I think, died on this flank. No, they're both alive. They're both running. They're both very hurt. One is on the corner of the map, and the other one is running on low health. So, quite frankly, I'm just trying to support, and all these guys are just going complete broadside to me because they're trying to chase down those last 2 battleships. So honestly, to me, this was the best possible play I could have made in this situation, just because now they are traveling broadside and they have one objective. They want to kill our battleships, which is great because they're showing broadside and they're not slowing down or speeding up. They just want to get to the battleships, which means my torpedoes have a one-way shot to broadside down. So it's kind of nice. The Bayern is about to get torpedoed. Of course, I spread my torpedoes out a bit because I wanted to get some hits. So they're not all going to hit, but one of them does hit. So I do get some flooding. And here's the T-22. He's beached himself. I thought he was going to speed up, but it looks like he's actually kind of stuck on the island. So I need to give less lead here. And I figured he's about to break out of the island. And of course, he doesn't really break out, so my shots miss. Of course, that dispersion is pretty bad too, but those were pretty poorly aimed shots. I need to kill this T-22 now, because by killing this T-22, we will have 3 destroyers to their 0. And so by wiping out this last destroyer, it will help our team a lot. So I'm going to fire torpedoes in at the smoke. I'm taking shots from the battleships. Wow, the secondaries on that ship is crazy, but he's firing at me. So this could be very dangerous, especially since the T-22 has hydro and is very healthy. But he's got an island stuck there, so he cannot escape. He has to come towards me. He's going to fire torpedoes at me. I just know it. Yep, there's the torpedoes. I was ready for it. He had bad separation on his torpedoes, and I was able to dodge them. That's why I was not firing for a bit, because I knew he was going to fire those torpedoes, and I wanted to try to dodge them, because now by dodging them, now he's dead. And here's where I kind of screw up. I need to zoom in and aim these shots to make sure they hit. But I'm not. I'm trying to do third person because he's right there. Obviously, I can hit him, right? But nope, I apparently can't aim unless I zoom in. So we're going to zoom in. We're going to take him out. But yeah, that was kind of a misplay on my part, and it's costing me a lot of health. But that T-22, he is just freaking out. He doesn't know what to do. He is very much caught out in the open, and he's pretty much scared. So we took him out, but I lost more health than I needed to, and that was a pretty sloppy engagement. So definitely could have been very, very bad if I had eaten torpedoes there, or if that T-22 had just fired his guns a bit more. Honestly, that was a pretty dangerous encounter. Very, very dangerous. It is now a 3v3, and thankfully I'm not dead. So, you know what? As terrible as that encounter was, I came out ahead, and now it should be pretty much free reign. However, their cruiser is a Pensacola, and against these tier 5 destroyers on our team, that Pensacola could ruin our days. The battleship's not worried about at all. And quite frankly, the battleships are separated, so we kind of have to deal with at least a couple of them. But if we can narrow their numbers down even by 1, our speed alone is going to allow us to capture any capture point that they take from us, and we should be able to win this. But it is by no means a guaranteed victory. If one of our destroyers gets caught out just a little bit and gets wiped out, well, that's the end. We really won't be able to come back from it. It is a very, very close game, and right now, my adrenaline was pumping. So yeah, I haven't done a whole lot of damage, but I've been where I needed to be when I needed to be there. Took some of the pressure off of our team and tried to help out. Our T-22 actually does take out the Bayern, which is amazing. And at this point, I'm just looking at our situation. We have 3 destroyers. We win this game now. At this point, there's nothing they can do to win this battle if we all survive. We're faster than them. We can just take the caps, and there's nothing more they can do. But, of course, if they catch our destroyers off guard and take us out one by one, we're toast. So all we need to do is take capture points and stay away, and this battle is a guaranteed victory. And at this point, that's exactly what I want to have happen. I don't want to engage them. I just want to live. And then you can see that in the chat. That's what I'm posting, basically. But as this battle progresses, and I see this Pensacola is coming towards us, that Pensacola is on very low health. Just a couple salvos, and I can take him out. He's not much of a threat. So as long as I can get the jump on him, I'd kill him, and by killing him, I could kill the Fuso, and I'm starting to see that. Of course, it's very dangerous. Look at the health on our destroyers. But I want to try it. I'm starting to. My team doesn't like it, and honestly, it might not be the best idea. But let's see what we can do. Um, Maybe I'm getting a little bit excited here, but I think we can take them out. Especially since they know that they are behind on points, they have to come after us. If they don't come after us, we just win the battle automatically. So they cannot be passive right now. They have to be aggressive. And I'm banking on that aggression for additional points. Right now they're capturing D. The battleship's not in there yet, so obviously it's the Pensacola. The Pensacola's coming. He's going to be coming broadside, so I'm going to have AP ready. I'm going to fire a couple torpedoes just in case. But I guess I'm not going to load AP yet, but I will load AP after this salvo. And we're going to fire at the Pensacola. Already 1,000 damage with 2 hits. So, yeah, he's going to be pretty easy to wipe out. I'm going to keep moving. He wasn't expecting me to be there, I don't think. And so we got him. We took him out. And I think we only took like 1 hit or so. And at this point, 3 destroyers against 1 battleship. Obviously, we are going to win. There's nothing more he can do. As long as we don't play it aggressively. Well, okay, now it's 2 destroyers against 1 battleship. And our other destroyer is virtually dead. So we need to be very careful. But I want to go for damage because look at that, 30,000 damage. I wouldn't mind taking some of that damage. That Fuso, again, he cannot be passive because for a number of reasons. One, he's just going to eat a whole bunch of torpedoes if he stays passive. But also, he's behind on points, so he has to kill us. If he doesn't kill us, we win. So that's why I'm banking on him being aggressive again. I'm not going to go unnecessarily in the line of danger, but I want to take him out. I'm ready to take him out. I have the health to deal with him. As long as he doesn't have HE loaded and get a ton of lucky hits, there's really not a whole lot he can do. So I might go after him here in a second. Got a couple, 3, 4 torpedo hits. That took off quite a bit of his health. He's flooding now. But props to the Matsuki on our team. He is running, and he is just staying out of range. He's not firing his guns. He's firing torpedoes from a distance, and he's just trying to support, which is absolutely the right thing. And quite frankly, I should be doing that too. But we're turning around and we're going to go after him because I'm greedy and I want to try to get some extra points. Obviously, that Fuso is in a really bad spot because now he has a destroyer on either side of his broadside. So he's going to be eating torpedoes from both sides. He's a pretty slow battleship. I mean, he's a faster battleship, but he's still a battleship. He's going to be pretty slow. There's not much he's going to be able to do to stop us. Oh, there he is. I saw him just a little bit too late, and oh, he's pre-aimed. This could be pretty catastrophic. But I can get to this island, and once I get to the island, I can wipe him out. The problem, of course, is he knows where I am now, so he's going to turn his guns towards me. But I was banking also that his guns would be facing towards the Matsuki. So again, this is very risky, but you know what? I feel confident to take him out, and the Matsuki seems to be a pretty good player as well. There's the Fuso. We're going to fire some torpedoes. The Matsuki, even if I die, I think that Matsuki is going to be smart enough to live, which is, again, pretty dumb of me to do, but I'm going to go after it anyway because I want to do it. My team hates it, and I kind of hate it too, but I think I got him. And sure enough, we got him. So yeah, this was actually a pretty fun battle. Obviously, not the craziest amount of damage. I've had higher damaging games, obviously. But, you know what? It was a fun battle, and the ending was pretty fun, so I had to record it. And also, the amount of experience that I got from that battle is just absurd. We got 3 kills, 5 floods, 13 torpedo hits. So, yeah, obviously those torpedo hits don't really do a whole lot of damage, but we dealt with the destroyers and we won the game at the end due to just reading the situation, looking at the map, and progressing forward. Got some of the missions complete, and yeah, it's pretty good battle overall. We got first on the team, 1800 base experience. I mean, I've seen battleships that have gotten 2400 base experience of this tier, so again, that's nothing crazy. But for me, at the time, this was like a really cool battle, and I felt really good once I got it completed. So definitely a pretty good match. And of course, if you'd watched that other Visby battle, I had like 1400 base experience in a tier 5 game. So part of this might also just be because I'm higher tier, therefore I'm going to get more base experience overall. Regardless of how I do, I'm just going to have a higher amount of base experience. But at the same time, I did more damage in this battle than I did the other one, and so I felt it was pretty useful to post it. I felt pretty excited about this battle. Uh, of course, we got one hit, torpedo hit on the T-22, I think. Yeah, so that helped us out a lot to dealing with the T-22 because he wasn't full health at that point. But even with that torpedo hit, it only took off like 40% of his health or something like that, which for a torpedo hitting a destroyer, that's really not a whole lot of damage at all. Um, and yeah, this ship is just a lot of fun to play. So, with that being said, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next battle.